Hey everybody, what's going on? Today's video is a super important one because we're going to be talking about how to choose the best tattoo artist for your project. In this video, I want to run through 3 big mistakes that I see people making when they're looking for a new tattoo artist. Maybe it's your first tattoo, maybe you're just looking for someone different right now, but these 3 mistakes, especially number 3, are so crucial for having a great experience when getting tattooed. Now, unfortunately, getting tattooed is permanent. So if you make these mistakes, you are making permanent mistakes. So that means pay attention right now and make sure you're not one of those people who is going to get a bad tattoo and end up with something that they hate, ruins their self-confidence, and turns them off from getting more tattoos altogether. Okay, mistake number 1 that I see people make is they don't do their research. It blows my mind the amount of messages that I get from people who have never even looked at the work that I'm doing. They just send me a message and say, hey, so-and-so recommended you. And I say, okay, what are you looking to get tattooed? And they're like, oh, I want to get this, this, and this. And I think I have absolutely nothing in any of my pictures anywhere that depict tattoos like that. Why are you asking me to do that sort of thing? It's like, I do color tattoos, big color tattoos. When I get messages from people looking to get this fine line, stippling, and dot work type of thing, I'm like, I don't know what's going through these people's heads because I don't have anything like that on any of my platforms anywheres. So do your research, make sure that you're looking at their website, their portfolio, whether it's on their website or on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Check out their social media channels, anything that the artist has that you can look at it. And if they have information about the FAQs and pricing and design process, anything like that, just give it a read. It's going to answer so many questions that you might have, and it's going to make your experience with the artist go a lot more fluid if you've done your preliminary homework and make sure you know what you're getting into. And coming back around, when you're looking at their portfolios, you want to make sure that they're offering a style that resonates with you. Again, don't go to an artist just because someone else recommended them and ask them to do something that is nothing like anything that's on any of their platforms. Just don't do that. Don't be one of those people, right? So along with making sure that the style of tattoos that they offer lines up with your desires, you want to also check out how they portray themselves across their social media platforms. So just make sure that they're not posting stupid I don't know, doing drugs in the back room or whatever. You can really learn a lot about someone by what they post on their platforms, and it's worth going through and just making sure that, again, they portray themselves in a professional manner, because artists need to understand and clients need to understand that what people put on their platforms, on their social media platforms, it's an extension of their artistry. It's an extension of their services. It's an extension of their business. If you look at someone's social media platform and website and you don't like it for whatever reason, again, understand that this is an extension of the services that they offer. So again, just make sure you're looking at stuff and you feel good about what you're seeing. And along with doing your research on their portfolio and their professionality as in how they display themselves, you also want to check out what services they offer. And you might think, well, obviously I'm in the market for a tattoo. Yeah. But there are multiple different services that can be offered within the tattooing experience. Myself, for example, I like to offer 3 different pricing packages where I send a number of designs in advance and then me and the client collaborate so that we can create something together. I'm not one of those artists who just likes to create a design and have my client show up on that day and just have it be what it is, where the client has to pretty much say, yeah, I like this, or what are you going to do, walk out? It's really awkward in that situation. So I like to offer pricing packages where I send designs in advance, and not everybody does that. That's not necessarily the best way to do things. That's just my way to do things. But if you're the kind of person that wants to see a design in advance, make sure that that's something that the artist offers. And if you're traveling, maybe the artist offers accommodations or meals or whatever. So just make sure that what you're looking for is actually a service that they provide. And again, this goes along with the style too. Make sure that the style of artwork is what you want it to be, as in that's the service that they offer. That style is that service. Okay, now number 2, a brutal mistake that I see a lot of people making is choosing an artist based on price alone. Now, it's really important to remember that the price that somebody's charging does not necessarily represent what they're offering. Let me say that again. The price that they're charging does not necessarily represent what they're offering. Meaning you've got artists who charge an arm and a leg for work that's sub-mediocre. And you've got artists who charge a really low amount for work that's absolutely incredible. We live in a society where we're conditioned to believe that more money equals a better service or a better product. But especially now in 2025, with the tattoo industry exploding, you've got all kinds of artists charging anywhere from like $100 an hour to $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 a day I've seen. Just know that the price doesn't necessarily reflect their experience and their skills and their services, but you definitely don't want to be that person who's just looking for the best deal. If somebody comes to me and they say, "Hey Oliver, I know that you charge this, but another studio offered it to me for half of that," I would say, well, if price is your number one concern here, then you probably want to go with that cheaper service, that cheaper studio or artist, because I'm not going to be that person. Now, obviously price is important because most of us are on a budget, but just make sure that price is not leading the way. You don't want it to dictate how you go about choosing your artist and choosing your tattoo, because again, this is permanent. Getting tattooed is a permanent medical procedure, and we're just going to throw laser tattoo removal out the window for now. Getting tattooed is permanent, so you don't want to make a decision based purely on price alone, because not only is the art at risk here if you go with the cheapest artist who does the cheapest job, but your health and wellness is at risk too, because again, it's a medical procedure and things can go wrong, things can happen. Just do your due diligence and make sure that you have a flexible budget to some degree that allows you to go with the artist that you feel like is going to be the best fit for you. And it's also important to remember that you're not just paying for the tattoo. You're paying for any education that the artist has in fine art and any trainings that they want to participate in, and the development of their skills, and the studio that they're at, maybe the business that they're running if they run their own business. There are so many factors that come in when we're looking at what you're actually paying for when you're getting a tattoo. You're basically paying for everything that that artist or person has spent money on in their whole life, and it's anything that they're going to spend money on that incorporate that. How do I want to say that? You're not just paying for the tattoo, you're paying for everything that the artist has invested in themselves in the past, and everything that they're going to invest in themselves in the future that contribute to what they can offer you artistically and creatively, not just as in technical skill set when it comes to tattooing. Now, the third biggest mistake that I see people making when they're looking for a new tattoo artist is that they do not request a consultation. You're going to learn so much about whether or not an artist is a good fit for you by simply having a conversation with them. So don't be afraid to request a consultation. In 99% of the cases, when I'm working with someone that I've never met before, I'm going to have a consultation with them, usually on the phone first, and then if it's necessary, I'll meet them in person to further discuss their ideas, take pictures of their body and whatever else I need. Myself as an artist, I like to know who I'm getting involved with, and I expect that my clients are going to want to know that too. So you really want to pay attention to how you feel around the artist, as in, do they make you feel comfortable or uncomfortable? Because if an artist or a studio makes you feel uncomfortable, just go find someone else. It's not worth it. You want to be comfortable when you're getting this experience done because it's so intimate. You're in such a vulnerable state when you're exposed and basically being led through this intimate procedure by someone else. And when you're having a consultation done, you can also pay attention to whether or not this artist makes you feel like you're wasting their time. If I was a client and I went in to meet an artist or I had a conversation with them on the phone, and if they were rushing me through all these questions just to get to the finish line because all they care about is taking money from me, then that's not the kind of person that I want to work with. I want to work with somebody who's going to be excited about the project, someone who's going to take the time to listen to me and hear me out and understand what I'm actually looking for, and isn't afraid to say no if they don't feel like they're a good fit to work with me. It blows my mind the amount of tattoo artists that will accept a project request from a client just because they want to make money. And even if it's not something that they're going to do well, they'll just, for whatever reason, I don't know why, they'll try and do it anyways. And then what do you have? You have an unhappy client. You've just made a mess on someone's skin and your reputation is on the line. Like why on earth would you ever take on a project that you don't feel like you're going to be able to execute to the best of your abilities? And again, especially in 2025 where things have gotten so much more expensive, there's been this increase of artists who just will take on anything because they just want to make money. It's all they care about is making money. And you don't want to find yourself in this situation as a client or as a tattoo artist. But from the client's perspective, you definitely want to make sure that you feel confident that they're going to be able to do the kind of work that you want them to do for you. All right, so those are 3 big mistakes that I see people making when they're looking for a new tattoo artist. Now, don't be one of those people who falls into this trap. So just to recap again, we want to do our research, make sure we're looking at their portfolios, their websites, their social media, anything else that the artist has to offer online. You can also check Google pages looking for reviews and chatting with other people about the artist just to get a feel for what other people have to say about them. You want to make sure that you're not choosing an artist based on price alone because, again, it's a permanent medical procedure. You don't want that to be at the forefront of your mind. I understand that budget's important, but if you can't afford to get a good tattoo from someone that you feel like is a good fit for you, then just don't get the tattoo at all. It's not worth it. You don't want that to be. Make sure that you request a consultation from someone that you feel like is a good fit for you. Meeting the artist, seeing how you feel with them, and if your gut instinct request a consultation that it's not is a good fit for you, then just don't book the appointment.